Welcome to another episode of Product and Cake. I am here today with Paul, my co-host.
Hello. Hi, Ghonche.
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
Happy New Year.
Did you have a nice party for New Year's Eve?
Yes and no. I had a very cozy event with close friends and family. And with the topic of New Year, first comes the question of how long into the year do we need to start every conversation with Happy New Year?
Oh, this will take until February, I guess.
True. And then the second thing is that we want to join it with the topic of new beginnings. As probably most of the podcasts at this time of the year have an episode about new beginnings. But it is also kind of fitting to our situation because, as you heard, there was a new jingle. With the new jingle comes some news. And at the end of the podcast, a request from all of you who are listening to this episode. But Paul, do you want to shed some light there?
Yeah, it's not only the recording situation we are in that is new and kind of the first time for us because we are recording remote.
Yeah.
And we are not longer colleagues anymore. That is very unfortunate, but after 2 years, super exciting journey of Mobile.de, I decided to leave the company and to take on my new position at the XU Group. And I have now the nice title of Head of Technology and Innovation.
Nice.
And
very fitting.
Luckily, my master plan is working, so and the new role is also close to product, and so we definitely will continue this podcast and will even have more perspectives, more topics, and more things to share light on.
Yeah, from different perspectives, and this is quite exciting. I'm very happy for you. I'm, of course, very sad for myself to have lost a very wonderful colleague, but I am very happy that you're joining a new adventure.
Yeah, and this is how you keep friendships nowadays, right? You start a podcast, so you have a good reason to meet regularly.
Yeah, hopefully we can also have some sessions recorded in person soon. But this one is the first one that we are recording after this change. And we decided to first do it remotely. So we make sure that we will be able to do it in any shape or form. And then we will do in person as well. But with that comes the new onboarding to everything. How is that going?
That was a very interesting experience, and I have a long list of items I noted down because onboarding is a super interesting topic in general. Getting onboarded into a new team, so a lot of change, a lot of excitement, but also dependencies and requirements. So definitely something to sort out. Did you still remember your onboarding at Mobile.de? Because this is basically a huge company, and back in that time it was belonging to eBay, so it is already much more advanced than what I discover at the moment.
Yeah, I think my onboarding at Mobile was really, really smooth, even though it was completely through the online. Like, I think I was not able, because it was in the middle of pandemic, I was not even able to go to the office until the month 4 that I have joined the company. But it went really, really smooth, and I learned in a very short amount of time a lot about different teams, different groups that are working on different projects and topics at the same time, because I kind of had a tour around the whole squads and different business units and joined them for a couple of days to a week, depending on how important the topic was for my specific role. I stayed with them for some time, and it really helped me. I still am able to remember things. I still have the context of their work in mind. I knew from the beginning who to contact for which topic. It was really, really nice.
Yeah, that sounds really like a good plan, that if you have a big company, you travel through the different teams.
Yeah.
You spend some time, but did you felt overwhelmed? Because I assume it was a lot of information that is also on your plate.
Of course I felt overwhelmed, but the overwhelming feeling was not necessarily because of how much information it is or I'm lost, but it was because it was really a lot for me to learn, and it was also, to be honest, a lot of names to remember and a lot of abbreviations to learn.
Yeah.
But it was not because of I felt lost at any point.
That's great. I want to dig into that point because I think there are two ways of overwhelming. The good one is, oh my God, there's so many information and it's super interesting, and I'm super eager to learn and to dig into, and every person I talk to give me more and I really enjoy it. And the bad side of overwhelming is, okay, this is much too much. I will never be able to handle all of that. I choose the wrong job. It is too much. I will never make it.
Yeah, and also in the second version of overwhelming, especially when someone joins a new company, I felt that before, is I felt lost that what is my role in this company? What can I do? How can I be useful? Like either everyone is doing everything and it's a mess and I could not see myself being fit there, or it was no real space for my role, or my role did not necessarily fit the culture. And those kind of things also overwhelms people during onboarding. But at least at Mobile, even though I was shocked a little bit with the amount of extreme talented people that were there and the amount of huge CVs that each person that I had a meeting with, and they were not like my manager, or they were not team leads, they were individual contributors, and they were like 20 years in the industry. They were 10 years with the company. I was so impressed by everyone's talent that that I felt a little bit for myself small in the very beginning, for first couple of maybe up to the couple of weeks, but everyone was also very welcoming. I think the impact the culture can have on making it or breaking it for someone new to join the company is really important. And at Mobile, I definitely felt that everyone is there to give me a hand whenever I need it.
Yeah.
This is something I think I will take with myself whenever I leave or wherever I go to.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the points to nail down, the culture. And this is not something you can just say to the people, hey, we have a new joiner here, please be welcoming. This is something you need to do work on over the whole year. And it is not only in contact with the new people, it is also in between the company. That everyone is approachable and is open and takes time and talks to the people, even though it adds more calendar invites into the overcrowded schedule. But it is an important part of the culture, and that makes the new people feel welcome and secure.
Yeah. I often, in different companies that I've joined, felt that, especially when they were very big, I really had this feeling that everyone is running for their own goals and initiatives, and it doesn't give the feeling that everyone is in the same boat. Mm-hmm. Even though it is Mobile is also quite a big company, and yes, there are times that there are some conflicts between the different objectives, but then it goes on. For the most part, every single person on a personal level feels that they should help another colleague. They give a hand, and they all feel that at the end of the day they are in the same boat, even though it might not be their specific artifact or area of business.
And how do you create that feeling inside of a company?
Ooh, that's a very good question. From the leadership team, I think the fact that the goals of the year should be aligned, and there is one main goal that everyone should go for instead of defining multiple focus points or focus areas. I think that would create more cohesive work together. And the rest, I think, is making context. That for me to know what the team A is doing, why they are doing that, who is their user, how they are helping the user. I think for making that kind of context in my mind, I will kind of have a different empathy with them. I will keep it in my mind that if I build this feature, it might negatively impact their conversion rate. And their conversion rate is kind of a proxy for the user that they are helping and the problem of the user that they are solving. And who am I to block someone's problem to be solved?
I like the point you mentioned, that it definitely starts with the leadership team. And there are two different phases in joining a new team, right? The first one is the application phase, where everything seems shiny and everyone is super engaged to give you a good impression. But then if it starts with the onboarding and you realize already, okay, all what we positively said is not there, then I think you don't need to search any longer for it. You feel it very fast, and the chances are high that you don't become happy if you have a bad impression already in the beginning.
Yeah.
So on the other side, that means as a hiring manager, you want to take time and to make sure that the people are welcomed and feel surrounded by good people, I would say.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the first couple of months is, again, for everything, it's make it or break it. And the first few people who are surrounding the person who joined is extremely important. And I think that's why a lot of companies have built this function of buddies, that someone joins you throughout the whole first couple of weeks, the first month, and supports you with everything that you do. Shows you around, connects you to people. It for sure might have been much, much easier in the in-person setting, but also in the remote setting, it is very important to be announced in different meetings, and it cannot just be the role of the manager to do that. It needs a group of people that are welcoming you.
That's a good point. And you need to take care about this onboarding journey through different teams and who takes care and which stage.
Yeah.
But also is the role description. Because one thing is the job posting, and in most cases, the role you will take is completely different or still shaped by yourself when you join. And writing that down, what is expected or what role is needed in a team, and also what would be a great success in between the first days, maybe in the first week, in the first month, and in the first 100 days. So the person who's joining have a clear idea what to do and is celebrating already a success.
That is exactly what I wanted to mention, that when I join a new company or when I join a new team, or even during the time that I'm interviewing, one of the main questions that I ask is, what are the factors that you can say this person was successful within the first month of taking this position? So what are the KPIs? What this person needs to deliver to consider this a success?
Yeah. And I would go even further. When you are in a team and you have the impression, okay, we need someone else who is joining our team. We have a new job posting or we have budget for another person. Then you should first of all try to do it without the person, because nothing is worse than bringing someone to the team who is half of the time bored or is not understanding what to do. So really try to do it without them. Automate things, use ChatGPT, do whatever is needed to avoid the new person. And if it's not possible, then start with the role description to really make clear what role needs to be filled. And this could be decoupled from the concrete person. It's not someone, hey, this person looks nice, or he talks straightforward. No, we want to fill a role. And maybe after a time we realize, okay, the role need to be changed, or the role will be switched between people because they would fit better. And this is something that will definitely help to answer Ghonche's question, if she's in your interview, what is the impact, right? And how can you measure how my contribution was successful?
Yeah, I think it is important for both parties, for the people who have hired the person and the person who has joined the company, to have this in mind and maybe note it down somewhere. And also, together with your manager in the first week, break this down that, okay, how am I going to show you I am successful in the first month, first 3 months, and the first 6 months. These are the 3 milestones that I usually put for myself, and also if someone joins my team, to make sure that this person both gets some appreciation and also understands what is exactly expected from them. What do they need to deliver?
And then in the next point, you want to show them the roadmap, right? You want to give them maybe some education budget, or you want to make great retrospectives. And I guess all of these topics will be covered in one of the next episodes. Am I right, Ghonche?
Exactly. Perfect connection to listening to the next episode that will be here. Or if you're binge listening to this, that is perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, then you don't need to wait until the next episode. So see you in a minute.
Yeah. And beginning of the podcast, I mentioned I have a request from everyone listening.
Right.
Actually, I have 2 requests.
Wow, it gets more and more.
It got 2. So the first thing is, if you're listening to this, please give us feedback, or give us a review, and share it with your product colleague, or a tech colleague, or a colleague who's interested in product. It would really be nice. And the second thing, as you heard, the beginning of the podcast, the jingle was different. So if you're interested in supporting us with making a jingle, if you are a producer or know someone who produces music and wants to create a jingle for our podcast, we would be very happy to work closer together. All right. So thank you for listening up to this point. I really appreciate it. We really appreciate it. And if you have any feedback for us, we would love to hear it, right?
Yes, totally. Feedback and questions, and also opposite opinions are always welcome.
And also, if you have any recommendation for us, what topic to talk about, if you have any person in mind that you think we should interview for any specific topic you have in mind, we would love to hear that. So you can send it to us via email.
Yeah, sure. Or via social media networks. You will find us, I guess.
Yes, there will be some info of how to contact us in the description.
Yeah,
Look for it.
Or send it via snail mail to mobile.de office and write CO Product and Cake Podcast. So a lot of people will know about the podcast then.
That's a good point. Let's do it. Thank you. And bye again.